in an affluent neighborhood where homes are separated by acres of land. That's where Hackman and his wife chose to live, decidedly secluded.
Suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. When two Santa Fe County Patrol deputies arrived at the scene, they walked to the front of the residence, and that is when they found the front.
Their bodies, it appears, they had been dead for some time. They were found in different rooms. Hackman was found near the kitchen, while his wife, Betsy, a classical pianist, was found in a bathroom. Their dog was also found dead.
The mysterious deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy, have left everyone stunned. Found dead in their home for weeks, the front door was open, one dog dead and two alive. No signs of forced entry or carbon monoxide, just unanswered questions. How did they die? Why did no one notice for so long? What really happened in that house? Let's discuss everything about this case in detail. Two workers arrived at a Santa Fe home expecting a simple job, but what they found left them shaken. The front door was slightly open, which seemed strange. Two dogs roamed outside, but inside, in a crate, was a third dog, lifeless. Something was clearly wrong. We knew something was off the moment we stepped onto the property, one of the workers later told authorities. But we had no idea what we were about to find. Inside the house, the scene was even more disturbing. Gene Hackman, the legendary actor, and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were both found dead. Their bodies had been there for a while, raising more questions than answers. It just doesn't add up, an officer at the scene remarked. Two people, both deceased, no one noticing for so long? That's not normal. Initially, authorities suspected carbon monoxide poisoning. Gas leaks can be silent killers, and with both victims found inside their home, it seemed like a reasonable explanation. But as investigators looked closer, the details didn't match up. Betsy was discovered in the bathroom, near a countertop, scattered with pills. An open bottle sat nearby. Was this an accidental overdose? Something else? Meanwhile, Gene was found in another part of the house. The idea that both would die separately, yet at the same time, seemed too strange to be a coincidence. Neighbors were shocked when they heard the news. Some assumed the couple had been traveling. Others believed they were just keeping to themselves. They were private people, but this is something else, one neighbor said. Hackman, despite his fame, had been living a quiet life in New Mexico, away from Hollywood. He hadn't acted in years, and his last public sighting was in 2023. Reports from that time described him as frail, needing support to walk. But how had he and his wife died together in such an unusual way? And why did no one notice for so long? Police are now combing through security footage, phone records, and financial statements, looking for any clue that might explain what really happened. The condition of the body suggested they had been there for weeks. One investigator called the entire case eerie and too strange to ignore. Social media exploded with reactions. Fans mourned Hackman's passing, remembering his roles in classics like The French Connection and Unforgiven. But while many paid tribute, others wanted answers. Something's not right here, one longtime fan posted. This whole thing just feels off. What really happened in that house? As authorities wait for autopsy results, speculation continues. Could this have been a tragic accident, or is there something more sinister at play? Law enforcement is urging anyone who had contact with the couple in recent months to come forward. Even the smallest detail could be important, one detective said. We are treating this with the seriousness it deserves. We will find out what happened. Law enforcement arrived at the house within minutes of the call. What they found inside was deeply unsettling. Gene Hackman's body was in a small back room near the rear door, his cane and sunglasses lying next to him as if he had collapsed suddenly. Across the house, his wife, Betsy Arakawa, was found in the bathroom. Pills were scattered across the counter, an open prescription bottle beside them. A space heater had been knocked over. "This isn't normal," muttered one detective. "Two people in different rooms, both gone. Something doesn't add up." At first, investigators considered carbon monoxide poisoning a common cause of sudden deaths in homes. The New Mexico Gas Company was brought in, but after a full inspection, no leaks or hazardous conditions were found. That theory was ruled out. Now they had a bigger mystery on their hands. How long had they been there? Their bodies showed clear signs of decomposition, indicating they had been dead for days, maybe even weeks. But something was off. Two of their dogs had survived. They must have had food and water. But one dog, locked in a crate, had not made it. "This means they were gone for quite a while," said an officer. But why didn't anyone notice? One chilling detail stood out. The front door was wide open when authorities arrived. Had Gene or Betsy left it open? Or had someone else been inside the house before law enforcement got there? "There's too many questions," another officer said, shaking his head. Did someone visit them before they died? Did they try to get help? Or is this something else entirely? Neighbors were shocked. The couple had lived a quiet, private life in Santa Fe. Most people assumed they were just keeping to themselves. "I hadn't seen them in a while, but I didn't think much of it," said a neighbor. "I just figured they were out of town or something." It is terrifying to think they were in that house all along. Authorities are now combing through security footage, phone records, and financial transactions to determine when the couple was last active. The autopsy and toxicology reports will be crucial in solving the case, but results could take weeks. Experts say that when a person is exposed to warm, dry air for a long time, their skin can become stiff or leathery. This usually takes days or even weeks, which suggests that Gene and Betsy had been deceased for a while before they were found. The presence of a space heater near Betsy suggests some form of heating was being used, possibly making the air drier and speeding up decomposition. However, without further testing, determining the exact time of death remains difficult. Investigators have ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning. The gas company confirmed there were no leaks, and the autopsy showed no traces of it in their systems. There were no visible injuries and no signs of forced entry. Still, detectives aren't ruling anything out. One possibility is that one of them passed away first, and the other, unable to cope, soon followed. Maybe Gene collapsed and Betsy panicked, taking too many pills, suggested one investigator. But there was no note and no signs of an intentional act. Another theory is that something in their environment contributed to their deaths. Extreme dehydration, an undetected medical condition. Investigators are now reviewing their medical records to see if either had health problems that could explain what happened. "We're looking at their prescriptions, doctor visits, anything that might give us a clue," said an officer. "We are not leaving any stone unturned." Detectives are also digging through emails, phone logs, and credit card transactions. They want to know exactly when Gene and Betsy last made contact with the outside world. And then there's the door, the one left open. Did someone come in? One detective asked. Or did someone leave in a hurry? There were no clear signs of a struggle, but investigators aren't ruling anything out. "People don't just disappear like this without someone noticing," said one officer. "Something is off. We just don't know what yet." Fans of Gene Hackman have flooded social media with tributes, but many are also asking the same question. What really happened in that house? Authorities are urging anyone who had contact with the couple in recent months to come forward. Even the smallest detail could be the key to solving this, an officer stated. "We will find the truth," he added, "one way or another." The death of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa has left many unanswered questions, and the more people look into it, the stranger things seem. Two of their three dogs survived, but the third, trapped in a crate, did not. If the couple had been dead for days, how did the other two dogs make it? Somebody had to be checking in on them, one investigator said. Or were they just lucky enough to find food and water on their own? Nothing adds up yet, and authorities are struggling to put together a timeline. Fans of the legendary actor are mourning his passing, but some are growing frustrated with the lack of clarity. "This doesn't make sense," one person posted online. Something weird is going on here. The investigation is still ongoing, and police have urged anyone who had recent contact with the couple to speak up. At this point, we're not ruling anything out, a lead detective stated. We need to look at every possibility. Adding to the mystery, Hackman's daughter, Leslie Ann, has shared her own theory. Speaking to the Daily Mail, she said she suspects carbon monoxide poisoning. Dad was in great shape. He didn't have any serious health problems, she explained. Something environmental like a gas leak makes more sense to me. She also mentioned that a gas company is now helping with the investigation. However, Betsy's sudden death at just 63 has only deepened suspicions. Betsy took care of him, Leslie said. She kept him active and healthy. It's just so hard to understand how they both went like this. Hackman's family released a statement expressing their grief. Losing both of them at the same time is devastating, it read. Dad was admired by millions, but to us, he was simply Dad. Hollywood legends have also spoken out. Clint Eastwood called him one of the most talented actors he had ever worked with. Morgan Freeman said he was a master at his craft, one of the all-time greats. Despite his fame, Hackman had chosen a quiet life in New Mexico after retiring in 2004. He rarely made public appearances, spending his time writing and painting. I had done everything I wanted to do, he once said. At some point, you just have to step away. From near-fatal health scares to a mysterious retirement and a suspicious accident, Gene Hackman's later years were filled with strange events. Was it all just bad luck, or was there something more going on behind the scenes? What are your views on this? Do let us know in the comments section below. And for more such amazing videos, do subscribe to our channel.